Welcome, everyone. Whoa. Welcome to this episode of WTF with Angela Heise and Alan Stevens and myself, Dr. Chris Willems. We're talking about technology and perhaps we can talk about its reliability or otherwise, and many other topics, I'm sure, within that broad umbrella of technology. Alan, what's your experience? I know you have a particular saying about technology, which is very appealing.
Yeah, well, as I always say to people, and that just because I'm paranoid does not mean that technology is not out to get me. Because it happens so many times that what you expect to happen and what has been promised by the technology does not happen. Because in a previous discussion we had, your background, for instance, kept on disappearing and turning back into the green background.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. For me, technology is the epitome of overpromise and underdeliver in every way possible and every day. And I find myself often first thing in the morning, fire up the computer, something doesn't work, an email doesn't come through or whatever, and it just buggers up the whole day. Like it just puts you in a foul mood for the whole day because you waste an hour or two or six dealing with something that for some arbitrary reason has stopped working or is doing something different, or they've done an upgrade. So you go, well, you can't find anything because they've done the upgrade. Bloody hell, it's so frustrating. It's immensely frustrating.
Yeah, well, they keep moving buttons and things around. And if you go in and do a search and go, okay, how do I go and do something? It tells you what to do. And then you go, where?
Yeah.
Where's that button? Where's that instruction that you've said it was up on the left-hand corner or whatever? Facebook in particular is a brilliant one for all of that, and moving things around and trying to find things. It's a nightmare. And to get tech support with a lot of the companies, there is none.
And they don't know either. That was I've had that where I've spent literally hours with 3 technicians, one after the other, because I kept getting referred to the next one and they went, sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah. Well, actually, just 2 days ago, I've got this Mac laptop and it has this touch bar thing, and it just flashes like a fluorescent light, like in your eyes, like that all the time. And I eventually, after several weeks, took it to the Apple shop, and they said, "Oh yeah, it'll cost you $932 to get that fixed." 900, and I said, "Well." I stuck a piece of black card over the top so it doesn't burn my retinas out, but I said, well, so about $1,000 you'll for that. I said, will it ruin anything else in the computer if I just cover it up? She said, oh no, should be fine. Okay, well, why would I spend $1,000? Why is it doing it in the first place? And why would I waste $1,000 just to stop it when I cover it with a piece of cardboard that cost me nothing, and a piece of sticky tape that might cost 2 cents? But it's so unreliable. It's spectacularly unreliable, and yet we entrust our very lives to it. Yeah, and hospitals, all that sort of stuff. The rant I did late last year after the spectacular global IT failure of 2024 was it was finally time for it to have its life, and I just did a rant on LinkedIn about what crap technology is, and the best way of characterizing IT is to put an SH in front of it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I can't argue with that very much at all. Recently, I was on my computer. I was trying to get into my meeting room that I've got, and also the website that meeting room belongs to, and couldn't get access to it. Tried it on my computer, tried it on my laptop, tried it on my phone. They're all working through the IT of my internet line. Would not go. Everything else is working except for that. Yeah. I then took the laptop and hotspotted it through my phone, and it worked. So I got in touch with Optus, our IP provider, and I told them what was going on. Oh, no, that can't happen. Well, sorry, guys, it's just happened. And see, having my back experience with technology, where I worked with telecom all those years back, I analyze everything first. And then you get some technical person who I'm sure hasn't had any technical training, but has a flow chart that says, have you pushed this? Have you tried that? Have you cleared the cache?
Yeah.
They would have got me to do that on all my computers and would have lost all my connections, had to go back and set all of that up for a problem that was on theirs. And it was the domain name server where you put a website in, it creates a number for it. So I found a way in which I set it up on my 2 computers so that it gave its own number. And I've never had a problem with that website yet. But I had a whole bunch of other friends ringing me and saying, hey, we've tried our meeting room. They're on the same platform. It's not working.
Wow.
And so, and they were all through Optus.
Yeah.
This is a nightmare at times.
There
we go. Yes.
Yeah. Perfect timing. As if by magic. I've got my nightwear on again. Wow. See, it's really good at timing, this IT. I should just change my background again, shall I?
Oh, no, keep it that way.
Yeah.
Well, indeed, it's a tempting thought, I have to say. So I'll do a different one, see if it works better. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my God.
We'll just see if it's just being auto-selective.
But it's cycled
IT
through.
critic.
Yeah.
See, that's the IT gods getting back at us for criticizing IT. I'm not paranoid like you are, Alan.
My issue is when they do an update and, you know, everything changes. That's one thing. My favorite is when they say, would you like to do an update? And I go, no, not at this point. And they go, would you like to do an update? And I'm like, I already said no. And it becomes pretty quickly obvious that there is no choice. You have to do I have to do the update. But there is this whole wording around, would you like to do it? Well, if it's mandatory, I'm sorry, I almost had the
funny word.
The middle letter of our WTF, no, the last one. Anyway, it's the
You mean focus?
Yeah, I know.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah, tell us what you really, really think, right?
Really think.
No, it's just this, I don't have a choice. You know, either I go or I die. I mean, like, you know, like I have an iPad that's now a few years old. There are certain programs I can't play anymore because it's no longer compatible. Now I get that. That's progress.
Yeah.
But it's getting faster and faster. You know, like there's built-in redundancy after 2 or 3 years now where you have to upgrade. Otherwise, you don't have access to the tools anymore.
And that's about making money. It's about
that example of planned obsolescence. Back in the early 2000s, I had an iPod that's played videos as well. So it was a digital, a disc in it. And just as the 2 years were coming up, the battery kept on failing. So I sent it back to them. They replaced it. That is still in my car today. The battery's still strong. If I unplug it from the car, it still works. I can walk around with it. But because it works in iTunes, iTunes keeps saying it wants to update the software. If I update the software, I've no longer got access to that iPod because I guarantee it's going to come back and say it's old data or old operating system and it can't work with it.
And you won't have enough space on your iPod to put it anymore because it just takes up so much more space now that, I mean, I now have to put a lot of stuff online only, you know, on Dropbox because my computer doesn't have that anymore because it just keeps updating and updating. Oh, I have a lot of videos too, but hey.
Yeah. Well, if the companies would just update their work on the effort of making sure that their devices work into the future instead of planned obsolescence, we would be happier with IT. We'd be happy to upgrade when they brought out new features, etc. But because we have to replace it because it fails, like you mentioned before about your Apple, I had a laptop, an Apple laptop. The battery went in it. To replace the battery was going to be extremely expensive. So thank God for YouTube, I found out, number one, where I could buy a battery. Number two, how I could get the glue that's holding it in space out of the way and put the new one back in. That was several years ago. I ended up giving it to one of my sons and it's still working for him.
Wow.
So...
Well, it's just something like, I do a lot of photos and videos and things. And in what's now called Photos, used to be called iPhoto. And there are thousands of photos. But... I can't access that anymore. Well, I can, but it says, do you want to revert to photo do you want to revert to iPhoto, the previous version of the photo thing? And I'm thinking, well, if I do I lose all the current ones, which is another 10, 20,000 photos? I don't know. And who can I ask reliably? And without
download everything, download all of your photos.
Well, yeah, but I can't until I open up the old version of iPhotos and then download it. But I don't want to do that because I have to then replace my current one. It's just bizarre. It's just bizarre.
Oh, okay, well, maybe that's a conversation to be had after.
Yeah.
You know,
but the thing is, it comes back to, are the companies doing this just to make money, or are they looking after their customers?
Yeah.
The focus is on making money, not looking after their customers.
Absolutely. They don't give a toss about their customers as long as they have lots of them. Don't give a stuff.
Yeah. It's planned obsolescence in that as well, churn rates and things like that. They don't care if they lose them, as long as they then keep others coming back in. So,
sorry, Alan.
Yeah, I was going to say, why not just look after the clients you've got so they stay with you and you have that longevity of your business, and you pick up new clients as you go.
Yeah, and doesn't that speak to the superficiality of our society?
Yeah,
it's just quick. It'll throw it away. Yeah, it doesn't work anymore. Okay, throw it away. And that's, for some reason, that's acceptable. I just find that bizarre.
Yeah.
That's another topic.
Yeah,
I love how we talk about one topic and immediately identify 2 or 3 others.
That's because we have lateral thinking minds, Angela. We can think sideways. Sometimes it's the only way to think, is to think sideways.
That's exactly right.
All right. Well, on that note, now that technology beautifully failed with perfect, exquisite timing, we'd like to say thank you for watching and being part of this. And we'd like to continue to build bridges of respect, one conversation at a time. So to Angela, Heise and Alan Stevens, thank you again for a delightful chat. And hopefully the technology will work next time. Thank you very much.